bit for us as well. Now, given just the standard police operating procedures, is it ever justifiable that, a suspect will be transported 480 kilometers for questioning, right? And what does it really tell about intent and proportionality at the end of the day?
Thank you, Dibal. First of all, I want to start with gray areas. It is said that the first report that was made by the IG was that this guy committed suicide and that he did it by hitting his head on the wall. It is important to understand how IG receives reports. When incidences occur or crimes are committed, the police always write situation reports, what we call SITREP. It originates from the station where the incident has occurred. The situation report that was sent to police headquarters for that incident was that this person had committed suicide and that he had hit his head on the wall. And that is exactly what the IG reported. When other facts came up and questions were raised, for example, you find that it was said this man was in his own room. So the first question that an investigator would ask is that if he was in his own room, who saw him hit his head on the wall? Because he could have been in a room with other people, then they would have seen. So you find somebody maybe unconscious, you cannot conclude that this person. So it is important to know that it's not a game by the IG to have said what he said. He reported what was reported to him, and he believed on what was reported to him. But because a serious matter that involves death and a lot of suspicions and the general relationship of police and the public, people can make conclusions. But that was the reason why the IG made that statement. And so far, he has boldly apologized after getting the correct information.
So was he also given a very misleading information regarding the Communications Authority and also retrieving some of his accounts that we can see Communications Authority also startly denying that they provided this information?
Definitely the IG does not investigate any case. The IG gets information from his officers unless he's directly involved. I've not followed the issue of Communications Authority. I'm not privy to much details about it, but I'll give an overview later.
But these are some of the gray areas that actually which are emerging.
Let me talk of the areas I understand. The next question was about the OCS refusing to book. If it is true, I didn't get DCI well. If it is true that the OCS refused to book a suspect, it is within the responsibility of the OCS to refuse to book a suspect if he is of the opinion that the suspect is not in good health. Even if it would be his own officers who have gone for patrol, what he would do is to book the suspect and say the suspect is not in good health and refer the suspect to hospital. But remember, the DCI headquarters has jurisdiction across the country. They can book you anywhere depending on the jurisdiction in which the person ought to be charged. So DCI headquarters can book you in central Nairobi, can book you in any police station in Nairobi of their choice. So if it is true the OCS refused, the only thing that the question that would be asked, why did you refuse to book? If the persons were in good health, why did you refuse to book? But if the person was not in good health and he advised that the person be booked elsewhere, then there is nothing wrong for him to have done that. The third thing is that I've heard people say that there was no offense committed by the deceased person. The deceased has died and therefore it is very painful to talk about him. But the question is, I am told that this person had made a false publication. Under the Misuse of Computer and Cybercrime Act, there's an offense of that nature, false publication. Mm-hmm. In fact, there's even what we call social engineering, where people do online dating and then other things come in. There are also even false identity. Like today, if you go to Facebook, I have a very nice Facebook account. I've talked to my colleagues to bring it down. It has not been brought down. If you go to Facebook account, you'll find an account with my name, and I've put on a suit and a sweater. It is not my account. It is a...
It's a parody.
It is, yeah, it is. It's a false... somebody as... It's a false identity in this particular account. There are a number of offenses which take place. But equally, Lagat, as the Deputy Inspector General, did not report this matter to a police station. He reported this matter to DCI headquarters, which is not within his authority. He's a DIG for Kenya Police. He just runs police stations and police formations. And as a human being, though this has happened and it is bad, whether he's involved or not will be found, will be established. But he has a right to make a complaint. Just like today somebody is using my identity even to defraud people. Mm-hmm. If today the way I've reported, and then this person is arrested and maybe somebody misbehaves and does a wrong thing. So what we are saying is it is investigations that will lead us. And I can tell you, this kind of investigation you cannot eschew. Investigations start from a certain point to another point.
Thank you.
This person was, just a minute, this suspect was in police custody. What we now need to confirm, and police officers must tell us, the OCS of the police station must tell us, the officers who are in the police station must tell us, and I want to tell my colleagues, nobody is going to protect any senior officer who was involved in this death. But it is the responsibilities of those officers. For example, if, for example, an officer was told to go and kill that man, what makes it difficult for him to say? Who will beat him?
Good
so
question.
What is most important
Thank
is
you.
there would be direct evidence that people would give in relation to this, and up to where we are, it is very clear that a person has been involved in causing death.